Okay, finally got around to watching Star Trek Picard, the latest one where... Okay, we finally, after 6 episodes, reached the Borg Cube. And Picard meets Soji, and... Of course, Swindon Spock cannot pay orders. But we're getting ahead of ourselves here. Let's see. Agnes is now ready to jump the bones of anybody. Has like one smooch, and it's like she's already. I never slept with him. Who said anything about sleeping with anybody? This is just these people have been writing soap operas too damn long and not enough actual drama. And Steph's in the back, providing audience reactions here. So,
hi guys.
Yeah. And let's see. Sitting on the table talking about the Borg, and now suddenly Picard is showing all the... I thought we dealt with this back in First Contact and a lot of episodes post-family. Okay, Picard supposed to already dealt with this. Okay, so suddenly it's like he was just de-assimilated yesterday. Yeah, that's, you wonder... guys, we dealt with this 20 years ago, okay? He shouldn't be freaking out quite this badly, unless, of course, the fact he's playing like a doddering old fool, which kind of also brings the whole thing of we're not dealing with Picard, it'll be a very different Picard. Yeah, no shit, it's a very different Picard. It's not the same guy. It's kind of like, well, yeah, where it's not the same guy, not the same universe. This is a parallel dimension again. This is the offshoot of the time. Again, referring back to the graphic. You have the Prime timeline up here. Well, no, so I'm stop using Prime. I mean, they're never called it Prime till JJ, really. The term may have been around, but nobody used it. You have the canon timeline up top. You have the legal barrier between, and then down below you have the Kelvin timeline and the JJ, the Kurtzman, so they're two separate items, okay? Never the twain shall meet. Not even Spock. That was not our Spock in JJ Trek. That was Prime Spock. Prime Spock is not canon Spock. So if somebody get their head out of their ass over at Memory Alpha and start separating out those things, we'd appreciate it. Because right now, Memory Alpha is useless as a reference for in-universe stuff. It's fine for production details, but in-universe, no. They might as well also decontaminate the encyclopedia because it's contaminated there too in the latest edition. But let's see. We got Agnes now jumping into bed with Captain what's his face? Rios, And Picard going all PTSD for the first time in 30 years. That's a long gestation period for that. And let's see. Meanwhile, back in the Borg Cube, the android girl who's the key to everything is having dreams. And spending the night, and Swindon Spock is spending the night. And also, we discovered that the Romulans also have Rubik's Cubes. Except these Rubik's Cubes, if you twist them right, they'll open up and a little prize comes up. Yeah. And yes, it's a foreshadowing because it turns out later that other things can pop up too. I suppose we're getting fun little details about the Romulans race now, but again, since it's a parallel dimension and none of it counts, take it with what you will. So, we're trying to do little Romulan meditation techniques, which seems to be, follow the Yellow Brick Road on the ground there and just visualize what you're thinking about. I don't know. Yeah. But, we're calling in favors from Starfleet captains and kind of taking the approach it was better to, sometimes it's better to, ask forgiveness than get permission. So they we're already on our way. We'll be there in 2 hours. So it would really be nice if we get the authorization now. It's huge. Fine. Never call again. It's like, which of course prompts Raffi to hit the crack pipe again right there on the bridge in front of God and everybody. And then, with the help of Rio, stagger back to to her quarters with a bottle of whiskey. Real great role models you're giving us there, Alex. Great, real great, yeah. Kurtzman, you're going to smoke a turd in hell for this one, okay? All right. And So Rios put her to bed, and she, takes the bottle with him, which is probably a good move. But we're also not getting any details. How long have we known each other? Years. You can't just say, 5 years, 10 years. You can't give a specific. I think it would be much more interesting, frankly, if they had thought this through a little bit, and instead of her being fired, again, you do what the military would have done in actuality, reassign her and have Rios as her former captain after having been taken away from PICARD. Then you could have had a story there. But no, we're just going to people get fired from the military. No, people don't get fired from the military. You're under contract. It's the last biggest form of indentured servitude left in our society is military service. They own you, own your ass, literally. You're told that you get sunburned, you can be charged with damaging government property. So, I'm not joking. They seriously told us that in tech school.
Jesus Christ.
Which kind of made me real interesting when I had very bad sunburn one day because me and a guy went out in a boat because there's then Keesler Air Force Base. They have Keesler Air Force has a marina. It's Gulf Coast, Mississippi, southern. This is also back in the days when it's like they advise you not to walk out into the Gulf because the water is so filthy. You get ankle deep, you can't see your feet. So it's bad water. Now it's fine, apparently. But we, checked out a boat and we wandered out, into the little bayous there. No shirts for a while, and got a bad burn. I couldn't sleep. I had to get into the shower several times with cold water on it because it was bad. But that I digress. But it would have been more interesting if they'd a little more of a connection established if they identified that Rios was her former captain after PICARD. So you get more of a bond that way instead of just, I know a guy, how do you know him? We haven't figured that out yet. We haven't figured anything out. We're just trying to get, point A to point B. 6 episodes in, we're finally getting to the damn cube. I'm really serious thinking about when all the episodes are done, taking them out and editing out all the fluff, and then find out just how much story there actually is here. Because so far, it ain't bloody much. Okay, yeah.
Probably even less story than a porn film.
Well, it might, I'm talking about as far as if you cut out all the crap.
That's what I mean.
And just whittle it down to, you might get a 2-hour movie out of it, really. Which would clock it into probably the most expensive 2-hour movie ever made. Because we're after 10 and 11, 12 episodes? Mm-hmm. And how many millions they're spending per hour? It's like, oh my God. It's going to make Cleopatra look like a student film by comparison's sake. So even if
Battlefield Earth again.
Even if just for inflation. Well, in Battlefield it wasn't that expensive. It was just very bad. But, they got PICARD to get his little 24-hour diplomatic pass. He gets on board. It's a minor freak out with a quick little snippets of flashbacks. I think most of them came from First Contact, but because that's the more cinematic footage. I don't think I saw anything from Next Gen, but I might go through and pause it.
They actually used footage from
I don't know. I know they use First Contact footage with the brief flashes. Well, yeah, but because they've...
Alice Creek better be getting a check or...
Well, I'm sure she can, because there's a flash of her in there. But, again, we found out from Midnight's Edge that they haven't paid Melinda Snodgrass a dime, and they're using her creation, Bruce Maddox. So, yeah, I assume at some point they'll be getting a call, probably next week, because the interview was a few days ago. So I suspect tomorrow there'll be a nice little message on Alex Kurtzman's desk. By the way, Melinda Snodgrass's lawyers have called. You owe her money. Because you're using her creation. Yeah,
that's it. Those 2 assholes who tried to take all the credit for Undiscovered Country? Connor and Rosenthal.
Well, whatever. They got their credit, so yeah. Doesn't matter. Nothing there's made on screen. If they worked on it, they got credit. Fine, screw them. Yeah. Here's your $5,000. Go away. That's about, or whatever the scale right now. But anyway. So we get to the end, we get a little scene of Soji scanning all of her childhood mementos and family snapshots, and nothing is older than 3 years. So guess what, Swindon Spock, you've been screwing a 3-year-old. Hope you're happy.
He's been screwing a toaster?
A 3-year-old toaster. And so that, he leads her down, to a little Romulan meditation chamber. Under the visible aggravation of the local centurion who's guarding the room. It's like, not sure why, they'd be guarding the meditation chamber, but okay, fine. And getting a little visualization of, trying to get to the bottom of her dreams. And they get the final vision of their Soji in pieces and wooden mannequin doll, for artist posing type thing, which I need to get a few more of those, by the way. But they show her in kind of wooden pieces on the table. Why my dad working on me? And look up, I can see 2 red moons, but okay, fine. Then, of course, they're in,
In other words, Pinocchio.
Pretty much, yeah, but little, horny sister of Swindon Spock is listening in the whole time. So, okay, start scanning for planets with, 2 red moons and constant lightning. Okay, fine, that'll narrow things down a bit, don't you think? But then again, we're talking Kurtzman, who thinks there's only like 3 billion stars in the galaxy.
Oh, Kurtzman thinks the sun rises and sets on his ass.
Kurtzman would apparently flunked 4th grade science. And can't look up, basic, not even, forget just looking up stuff on Memory Alpha. Just look up basic science facts. I mean, there's over 3 billion stars. Well, yeah, technically true. There are over 3 billion. There's over 300 billion stars in the galaxy.
Neil deGrasse
Only off by a couple orders of magnitude, you dumb bitch. Okay, now.
You know that?
Mm-hmm.
Neil deGrasse Tyson would wring his neck.
I really wasn't. Once upon a time, Neil deGrasse Tyson would be like one of the advisors of this show. Now he's. I would love to get his reaction on this some of the stuff. It's like, oh my God! And get a reminder. No, the audience for Star Trek is not ignorant little 12-year-olds who move down to their parents' basements and dress up in funny costumes and point their fingers at strangers and going because they can't afford a phaser. No. Again. We're talking NASA scientists, politicians, all kinds of movers and shakers. There is no average Star Trek fan. In fact, you'll find every astronaut is likely a Star Trek fan. A lot of them got in because of the recruiting film that Nichelle Nichols did back in the 70s, which I've tracked down and downloaded. I'll probably put it in this point right here.
There is a king among
yeah, and then King Abdullah of Jordan. He was also King Hussein before him. Was a big Star Trek fan, and that was kind of the bonding between them. They watched Star Trek together. Which I can relate. That's how my dad and I, because my dad was watching it during when it was on NBC, and I was a little toddler, and I'd crawl up behind him, and it's like, yeah, I was watching it too.
Didn't your dad once take you out of school to go see?
As a matter of fact, he did. He where is it? Hold on.
Motion picture, wasn't
Yeah, the motion picture. Yeah, I took. I've related the tale a few times, but I was sitting in geography class and I got no. Yeah, you need to go up front. Your dad's here. Okay, what happened? And I go up there. Now we're going to see we're going to see Star motion picture. It was a Friday. It was a Lake Ridge Twin. It was around noon. Want to make sure, and it's one very, very few times we got there early for a movie. Because there's a running gag with my dad. We always showed up late for a movie. You have to sit through it twice because you showed up like halfway through. There are some films to this day I can tell you when we showed up. And again, well past the halfway point usually. Like Paint Your Wagon. We first showed up. It was in the scene in the tent after Clint Eastwood's come to, and Lee Marvin is okay. And they're making the thing to who owns how much of which thing. And at Airport, the original one. We showed up at the point where they're about ready to take the bulldozer to the 707, and George Kennedy's revving the thing and actually gets it out of the way. That's the point we came in. And Vanishing Point was the same thing. We also came in late on that one. That one, it was before the naked chick on the dirt bike, but in the motorbike. But we came in well past the thing when we started. So and True Grit, I remember that one too. We also showed up late on that one. One of the courtroom scenes we came in on. Yeah, you just relate all these late. Yeah, I know that movie. We came in late on that one. We came in that one there. And that one. We learned after a while. It's like, no, now. Okay, make sure we got there, And usually, after a while, we managed to get him to finally get there roughly on time. But, lost where I was at.
Well, you were talking about PICARD.
Okay, yeah, well, yeah, I know we're talking about PICARD, that's in general. Okay, so, but we got, but Soji doing her scans, all the stuff, and doing the thing, and her little visual exercise, and to finish the dream, and there she is in pieces on the table. What does this mean? And then they're looking, it's okay, fine, start looking for planets with frequent electronic because of thunderstorms and lots of lightning and 2 red moons. Okay, fine, whatever. And that's when Swindon Spock puts down the little Rubik's cube at his own, and it opens up, and it's not the little statuette little prize. No, this time it's doing out red gas, which apparently isn't very nice because she's choking and crawling away from it, blocking her in the room. But then apparently she activates and starts breaking through the floor and leaps down the thing, and now she shows up back on sensors because now Hugh and PICARD can find her, and runs her, and she drops down the thing right in front of him, and a little bit of please help, come here, help me. It's like, one, I don't think Hugh is with her. Why would she hesitate? Come on, and again, Jean-Luc Picard is not exactly an unknown person. He just had a public meltdown on interstellar television. It's like, yeah, he's pretty well known, and you had a few guys, Locutus. It's but he's pleading with her like he's trying to get her. Come on, please, follow me. Yes, like a dog. Just grab her hand and run, okay? And of course, after Romulo Legolas has been ordered to not leave the ship, they're trying to figure out, because they know they're in trouble there, and say, where's the kid? Because he. And so they're about ready to use the Borg Queen's own personal transporter that goes 40,000 light years. Ooh. At which point begs the question: if you can have a transporter that goes 40,000 light years, why even bother having ships? Because, again, a case where Kurtzman can't read a map or follow basically 40,000 light years. That's literally halfway across the galaxy. A little past it, because the galaxy, I think, is like, about 70, 80,000 light years across. Let me check that real quick. Because unlike Kurtzman, I know how to look things up. How big is the Milky Way galaxy? There we are. Let's see just how much, a 10 second, 52,850 light years. That's the radius. So, 40,000 light years, that will land you, just about from where they were, assuming they give a case, pretty much to the galactic center. Although you wouldn't want to go there anyway, it's pretty inhospitable. But diameter of 150,000 to 200,000 light years, depending on where you're starting your measurement from. But yeah, the radius is 52,000 light years. So, with a transporter range of 40,000 light years, again, why bother having ships at that point? So, but I don't know. I think they come up with one thing to explain how the Queen can be everywhere, and of course forget the fact that the subspace relays can make it where she doesn't have to actually be there. So she can kind of telecommute. But of course, just so that they're better to do thing, and Romulan guards are out front, and then they're getting skewered by Romulo Legolas and his magic sword. Gotta have your Romulan ninja on hand, And of course, instead of going with Picard to protect him on wherever the hell they wind up, because he picked out a system, and gonna have the folks on the Van Halen ship meet him there. Have you looked at that ship? It's painted like Eddie Van Halen's guitar. Red with random right stripe. It's Eddie Van Halen's guitar paint job, okay?
Yeah, I bet you.
Forget La Serena. They should have named it the Valerie, okay? Yeah. Or the Wolfgang.
Cringing.
I imagine he's probably got his lawyers on the, hey, can I get a piece of this action here? And then Hugh and Romulo Legolas stay behind. Yeah, I know it's Eleanor, but you know, well, like with the guy in red, rather than me call Eleanor, but Eleanor G, I think you're swell. All right, apologies to the turtles. Okay. But it's going to take a while to shut down. Just close the door and lock it, okay? They're not going to be breaking into it in time. And just hide yours. Nobody make a last stand type thing. How about everybody just jump on the thing, okay? Hugh, because I didn't say they went that away. You know? And as they prepare to, fend off the coming Romulan guards, and considering that, Elnor, the magic Romulan ninja, is going to make shish kebabs out of all of them before they get a good shot off, because it's Kurtzman trick and things like that happen. I mean, the screen goes to black, but you're still having the voiceover going, choose not to die. Presumably directed at the coming Romulans with the chapters pulled.
Like I said, you really want to save the franchise? Get Kurtzman's other boss in there.
What other boss?
Lenkov.
Lenkov is not, he's got his things going on. And that's a case of where, Kurtzman, I'm talking about Hawaii Five-0 and something. MacGyver and stuff. But that's also where, I think those shows were probably brought to them. And they're pretty much use this as a clearinghouse thing, but Lenkov is in charge of those shows. Yeah. But that doesn't mean he's their boss, okay? He's just an associate, they're different association. They're just,
But if Lenkov were to come in and take over Star Trek, he would probably chuck these other two shows out the airlock and.
That's But let me finish before we get to that part of the thing. It's just as far as this episode, yeah, we got that, and so Picard and Soji are going to be beamed halfway across the galaxy, potentially. It depends on where this other planet is, because that's just the range, 40,000 light years. All they had to do is get out of there. And we probably, I don't know. They indicate that we'll still see more of Swindon Spock. Although I kind of get an indication that Hugh was going to die horribly because he is, even deborked, he's still a white male and therefore must die. But we're finally gonna see Will and Deanna. They've been teasing this for the whole bloody thing before it even aired, that we're gonna see finally episode 7. And they're finally going to show it. And it's Of course, reshoots, so we've got to figure out where to fit this.
Card is so laughable.
This,
If I could, honey.
The shooting schedule, I think, way on just a Frankensteinian nightmare.
If I could, I would replace the theme music with the theme music from Red Dwarf. That's how laughable it is.
That could be something.
Am I giving you ideas?
No, just instead of that depressing violin music, so da 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 da, it's all outside, it's all kind of okay. Anyway, before I get another copyright strike, yeah, it's just getting dumber and dumber, And hopefully the time will come where they can weasel out from under this contract they've got with him. And I think, when the reevaluation comes up, is and he tries to invoke his contract. No, your contract was with this company. That company no longer exists. Now you're dealing with this company. And we don't care. The show has not performed to expectations. And it's been bleeding. It's what made CBS kind of vulnerable. Technically CBS took over Viacom. But it was engineered by Sherry Redstone. So, they pulled off the merger using CBS's money, but it was very much Paramount Viacom taking over CBS, and CBS paying for the privilege. So, which I've been told. My dad said, we used to say when I had something in my mind I would do, I could move heaven and earth to get it one way or the other, and I managed to prove that right. In getting cars that I need. Or getting other things, whenever I was either transferred from New England back to the States and given a list of things I do. You're not going to do this today. All right, watch me. And same thing in being discharged from the Air Force. You're not going to get this all done today. Oh yeah, hold my beer. If I had a beer thing, I'll be back and I got it all done. So Sherry's kind of got the same thing, and she's got billions to play with on this respect. So yeah, do not make this woman mad. She dispatched Les Moonves. Les Moonves is one of the most powerful men in the entertainment industry, and she had something to do behind suddenly him getting Me Too'd for some stuff that happened 30 years previously, if it happened at all. Probably not the extent that it was played up with, but suddenly he was vulnerable, and bye. And all the people who are loyal to Les Moonves are also gone. They're all Sherry Redstone's people in charge of the thing now. And as I said before, there's nobody left to defend Kurtzman. So all we're waiting for now is for a chance to get out from under this contract, because it did leave the shenanigans and the money they've been bleeding CBS dry. So yeah, under better circumstances, they just bought out his contract and said, get the bricks, okay? As it is, they're vulnerable because they can't just pull that kind of money off. They have to maintain good faith for the investors, which is why Discovery's getting a third. They have to have at least enough seasons as much as the original series. They can't have a one season. They will probably try and bluff off one season of Picard. It was always intended to be one season anyway. It was one big long extended story. But they have to get Discovery to 3 seasons, otherwise it just looks bad. And again, looking bad in front of the investors is a very serious matter, so I can understand that to us. But the big thing, two things. I think Rich on Read That Immediate thing he's got. They're going to make it look like the Romulans created the Borg a long time ago. That's why this strand of Romulans has a huge hatred of anything, synthetic. Never mind the fact that, they have a spacefaring race, and it's like, you're not going to get into interstellar travels using an abacus. Computers are kind of necessary, okay? And they've been a spacefaring race for at least 1,000 years, okay? Well, man was still trying to figure out how this fire thing worked. The Vulcans were traveling the galaxy. Okay? And like how far back? When was the separation? When the schism between and when you had Surak created his thing, and then those who didn't like it left and formed the Romulan Empire. So how many hundreds of or thousands of years ago was that? It was a while. So yeah, this is they're just throwing stuff on the wall. Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah, have them be the ones. Getting past the initial stupidity and also the ramifications, because then it's also a case of just small universe syndrome. They can't think of anything original. It's always got to be connected to something else. It's like any Force user has to be related to the Skywalker somehow. You can't just have the Borg be a product of something out in the Delta Quadrant that went horribly, horribly wrong. No, you got to connect it back to something we know. Why? Why does that have to be someone we know? It's a big galaxy. It can be stuff we never heard of before. It makes things more interesting that way. It gets rather boring if everything we know is connected to something else we know. It just turns into one big gigantic conspiracy theory after a while, and that gets pretty boring. Okay.
Personally, I like Shatner's explanation for the Borg
Well, that was based on an offhand comment from Roddenberry when they first revealed the Borg. They made a crack about, hey, maybe that's where V'ger wound up, you know. But, and the thing is, that's the kind of thing you can take a story with just, you know, one little quip from the right ear, you know, right mouth. And, oh, okay, we can spin that. Other times it's like, little thing. There's a time period when the Iron Man had a nose on the helmet, because Stan Lee showed up at Marvel Comics, and they got big pictures of, you know, the heroes on the wall, and he made a comment, shouldn't he have a nose? And of course, it's Stan Lee saying this in front of Marvel. You know, oh my God! You know, someone scrambled. It was just an offhand comment. He didn't mean anything. Right? Probably forgot about it 10 minutes later anyway. But they put a nose on Iron Man.
Oh boy.
So, how many weeks goes by? Stan comes back to the office and he sees a picture of Iron Man with a nose. What's he doing with the nose? Get rid of it. It's like, oh crap! So then, you know, suddenly the whiteout supply, you know, runs a little low at Marvel Comics, as they're covered at the nose on the artwork. So yeah, there are times when offhand comments from the higher ups can be taken, you know, as inspiration. Other times it's like it's just making a crack. Okay. But as far as, you know, saving the franchise at this point, the only way to save the franchise is to relegate this monstrosity, this and Discovery, to the alternate timeline from whence it clearly belongs, over by JJ Trek, and make a statement to that effect. Because certain folks, despite the obvious evidence to the contrary, like the Enterprise not matching up in any way, shape, or form, but they said it's canon. They lied. It is possible to do. They lie to the audience. That's something that's Kurtzman learned from JJ. Unfortunately, they didn't get the right punishment because, you know, Into Darkness still made a bunch of money. Never mind the fact that it also crashed and burned the JJ into the franchise too. That's just why Beyond. It tanked at the box office. You look at the worldwide gross, it doesn't look that bad, but the domestic box office sucked. It didn't even make back, you know, production budget. It was that bad.
Oh, kind of like Nemesis, huh?
Just about that level. It was seriously that bad.
I mean, remember when we went to see it at Buckingham?
Oh yeah, we saw Nemesis at the Buckingham Theater, Buckingham Square Theater. Me and Steph and maybe 3 other people in the theater. And eventually I started doing my own little MST3K thing where, you know, just making cracks of the audience and, you know, making them quite loud. I wouldn't be quiet about it either. The other people didn't mind. Got some laughs out of it, especially when it's like, but not when, you know, Riker was kicking, you know, the Viceroy in the face, and it just didn't match up with Kirk kicking Krug in the face. So I have had enough of you, and yes, it timed right out. But yeah,
that is why you never let an editor direct a movie.
Well, no, a lot of editors had made. Robert Weiss was editor. He was editor on Citizen Kane.
Yeah, we're talking Stuart.
Well, that's Stuart Baird. The problem is he made I'm going to treat this like it's the first Star Trek film ever, and it's like, you can't do that. It is now the 10th film in the series. Okay, and Picard said this. He didn't directly, you know, cite out Stuart Baird by name, but he made the comment. You can't treat it like it's the first one ever. It's part of a series. You know, you have to take that into account. You know, as a little backhanded way of smacking Stuart Baird. Like, that was his big mistake. He tried to treat it like this is the first one ever. And his constant ignorance thing, like constantly referring to Geordi as an alien on set, and that irritated the hell out of LeVar Burton. He's not an alien. He's just got funny eyes. And just some of the other garbage on there, man. But no, not even that. He just had, you know, blue contacts at that point. They got rid of the visor.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, because it proved a very major liability in Generations. But yeah, you want to save the franchise. In Star Trek's case, yeah, relegate this to the ghetto that it belongs to, down next to the JJ Trek stuff. And again, a statement to that effect. This is not canon Star Trek. It's its own canon off to the side that makes you feel a little better. But there's no connection between that and the original series and all this progeny. And yeah, when Patrick Stewart is a totally different Jean-Luc Picard, he wasn't kidding. This is a totally different Jean-Luc Picard. This is a parallel universe Jean-Luc Picard. Now that, and if you didn't get the hint on that one by the way he acts and the way thing, the fact he walked into Starfleet headquarters and overhead is a hologram of the Disco Prize, not the original Enterprise, but the Disco Prize. Yeah, they're trying to push it. This is the Enterprise in that series. Well, then you're not talking the right series, are you?
Talking JJ
They're
Price?
talking no, not the JJ Prize, but the one that showed up on Discovery.
Ew.
Yeah, Pike's Enterprise. It's about the size of the Enterprise D. The Condors are totally different. And I don't care what kind of little. All they do is copy and paste the stats from the tech man and put them on screen. But since you can't see them on screen, don't count.
Let me guess. The front of the nacelles look like tits.
No, the proportion. It's actually a nice design, but it's not Pike's Enterprise. And of course, compounding the errors when they did their little, visit to Talos 4, and they showed clips from the actual episode. One, even then, they showed the wrong version of the Enterprise, showed the production version. They should have been first pilot. And showing Jeffrey Hunter and Leonard Nimoy and all that stuff. It's like, it's like, if you want your evidence as a different universe, there you go. That's the original episode right there. I don't know how the hell they think canon works. It doesn't just work because you say so, okay? You got to have it line up, or you're lying to yourself, you're lying to the audience.
Anson Mount was the only thing I liked about it.
Anson Mount is a big-time fan, so he loved the idea of playing Captain Pike.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, he would love the idea of playing Captain Pike in the right uniform and the right sets.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you want to do a Captain... apparently there was a bit of an altercation on the set. We can only figure it must have been... probably tried to haul off and slug Alex Kurtzman.
Oh, that would have been
Well,
fun.
yeah, because there's stuff like that, doesn't go to HR unless it's serious. Yeah. And you also generally don't publicize reports to human resources unless it's unless they're I don't know what the hell they're trying to prove. Because the fans still love Anson Mount and like it when he shows up on screen for his 5 minute, 5-10 minute shot on these little short short treks, short bus treks, But I think it's always pretty clear. There's not going to be an Anson Mount series if Kurtzman's in charge. So.
Yeah. I remember the last time CBS tried to fire somebody. Well, they did fire him, but
What are you talking about?
talking about Michael Miani.
That was the daytime. Anyway.
But it's just the fact that they made a big deal out of it.
Well, just certain producers just like to make a big stink out of it, or whatever. So,
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, that's going to work if that's going to work at all, and just make a clean break, remove the tumor, throw it over in the trash heap with the other ones.
Mm-hmm.
And again, there's probably going to be a cooling off period while everything expires, because there's also apparently as Kurtzman is doing Star Trek, that Bad Robot license is still hanging out in the distance there. So you got to wait till Kurtzman shut down, I guess, for a certain amount of time. And once everything's expired, then you'll see another Star Trek movie. And it won't be a licensed thing for some other time. It'll be a proper Star Trek movie under people who probably know what they're doing.
People who know their ass from home.
Well, no difference between a deflector dish and a diaper. That's another thing with that little short bus trek with the Ephraim and Dot. Where does that little rock hit the deflector dish? It didn't deflect the damn thing, did it? Yeah. But yeah, the dumb is continuing rather strongly with this one, and so not much further to go. We got one more episode of Doctor Who to kill off too. So,
Yeah.
Actually, that was today. What time is it? I might be able to catch it. So, all right. Anyway, PayPal, Patreon down below. I'm gonna try and get Doctor Who wrapped up here if I can get on the time, but I'll catch you later.